What's up?
Hi, Jason.
What is up?
Fancy seeing you here.
I know, right? I didn't expect you to be right over there. I thought you were going to be right next to me.
Really? Because I
Oh,
didn't
I'm
want
just
to.
kidding.
Oh, yeah. Well, who
Just
cares?
kidding.
Just kidding.
It's funny. I get thrown off. I look at the time and it's like, oh, we're already a minute in. It's because of the intro.
Yep.
So we have been off air for off air, but we have not had a live show for a few weeks. You want to tell people what's been going on?
No, do you want to tell them what's been going
Well,
on?
you're going to do it.
Oh, is that what you? That's the passing. That's
Yep.
the give me the
All
give,
passed.
give me the con, or it's like Final Four. I take the pass.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have been traveling. Actually, we have been in Delaware, a little bit of Philly, down in Virginia, specifically Richmond, and back home. And part of that has been due to Unwrapped. Get yours today for $5 on Amazon. Kelly and I, my co-author, have been invited to speak at two conferences as keynote speakers, and we've also done a breakout session. And then we had our wonderful book launch in Richmond, Virginia
Yeah.
last weekend. And so part of that was traveling and in and out. And so we just didn't have the time to come on like this. So it's a good thing, but we did miss you. And we are going to get better at being more consistent with being on. But if you want to find us, always look for a post on set on Thursday evenings, 7:30. If you don't see it, something else is going on. Good. We hope. That's what we put in the atmosphere that something good is happening. So we're back.
Yes, we are back, and before that, we were in Colombia, right?
Oh, that's right. So we were in Cartagena, Colombia. So not Columbia, South Carolina, or the District of Columbia, Columbia, COLO. So we were on vacation with family and friends and had a good time in South America. So now we're back on U.S. soil, and
Yes.
we are still planning on those trips. So if y'all can remember, part of our promise was that we were going to go somewhere once a month and find us, right, and put a pin. So we have done that so far. We have gone more than one place in a month, but we are continuing to stay true to that promise. We don't have anything. Oh, no, we do have something planned for April. I was like, we don't have something planned for April. We'll be in Indiana.
Hey, well, I think we were on one time, and didn't we try to play the video, or did we play the video of the house that we stayed at in Colombia?
No, we did not do that. Not on
It's,
here.
it's showing that it's available here. I tried to upload it, and it was
Yeah,
giving me a
no,
hard time.
we didn't play it.
We should play it for the folks, and let them see it. It was
I
kind of
mean,
a funny place to stay, right?
I guess
Let
so.
me see if I can make it work. If I can make it work, then it's all good. So hold on a second, y'all. Voila.
Hola, hola.
Well, actually, all right. So
Well, I didn't even understand.
actually, that was not the video I was hoping
I
to
didn't know
play.
what was happening and why we were just seeing like the
I
floor.
actually have. There's a video that's uploaded. I uploaded it actually to Facebook, so anybody who's watching can
Oh,
see the video that was uploaded to Facebook, and it's actually edited and a lot
yeah,
better than that. So
DJ J Bass. What the heck? That's
yeah,
terrible. Listen, let's talk about the topic at hand. I mean, we're here to talk.
yes,
We have
yes. So
30
let's
daggone
let's
minutes.
let's get to it. The topic at hand are the three things to do this spring for yourselves personally, right? That's what we wanted to do. not something like, cleaning the house. It's more like the spring cleaning within yourself. But I'll let you take it away. Go ahead, go.
Yeah, so this is cleaning the house, meaning your physical house, your body, your mind, your soul. It's almost April. We're going to be starting off. I mean, spring happened on March 20th, 21st, but April usually springtime kicks off ideas of people thinking about Easter, right? So for those of you who are Christian and you celebrate Easter, you think about new beginnings, right? Because that's the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And then those of you who are Muslim, you're thinking about Ramadan, where you're fasting for 40 days and really getting centered and around your spirituality and again, having that time to give to your faith. And those are going to be celebrating Passover. Same thing. A lot of religious celebrations and remembrance and reflection happen around April, springtime. But also, it's a good time to really focus on you physically. So, in addition to your faith and spiritual cleansing that you're doing, your spiritual resurrection, thinking about also spring cleaning. And that's what I've been calling it, kind of a spring cleaning. It's like, what is it that you want to declutter in your life? Like a garage,
like weeding.
You're like weeding. Because I know this weekend I was saying, gosh, I want to move a few things and clean some stuff and plant beds. But there's some things we need to do internally that might help us see clarity. So we were just talking about maybe our conversation about some things that we might do. This is, I guess, akin to when you make your promise around Lent, right? It's something you give up or something you lean into. So same kind of thing. But instead, really just thinking about what do we want to do to make our lives more enjoyable, where we can bring more joy into our lives. So that's the theme, and that's what we're going to talk about. And we would encourage anyone to, if you're listening or if you watch this video, to engage in conversation around what you are weeding and cleaning and decluttering for yourself so that you can have clarity.
And what do you want to grow? I think so. There was the three buckets were, as you mentioned, weeding, and cleaning things up in yourself. I mean, whether it's like you said, I mean, maybe you're going to give something up, whatever that is, smoking, drinking, eating certain foods. And then, but what do you want to grow? So I do want to highlight that part of it as well, as what do you want, to improve upon, and what seed are you basically putting in yourself, that you want to improve or that you want to sprout, come summer, right? So I'd like to, just add that to our list. All right. So I'd like to just, really go first. I think, when we think about weeds, we're looking at those things that just do not belong in the garden, right? Typically, if we're looking at a garden of things, right? You got some weeds and you want to take those things out. So, as I gave it just, some thought here, I really want to remove sugars now from my diet. I mean, that's just, for me. And again, I'm thinking about this from the vantage point of when we do the spring cleaning, I should say, right? Because this, look, in the vein of finding us, right? I mean, this is what we're doing. We're trying to really, make ourselves better for ourselves, and then of course for each other and for those who we're around. So, I'm saying I want to give up, some sugar that's been plaguing my diet, and partially because of my lack of discipline on that front. But that's what I want to grow, is just really on the other side of it, is the discipline in myself to, be stronger, to say no to those things. And then as far as the cleanup goes, it's really getting back to my, my health regimen, where, well, I should say my exercise regimen, where, I'm, removing that fat and, removing those things, from my body and, just cleansing myself. I may actually undergo my 10-day smoothie cleanse. So that's something that I may do. So yeah, that's on my list of spring.
Hey, Cindy. Let's see. What do I want to weed? I think I have done a lot of weeding already. So I don't want to repeat something. I'm trying to think of something new I want to weed. I think one of the things that I can think through is weeding out as much as I can the thought of self-doubt. In
Mm,
this new journey that I'm embarking on, I call it my personal and professional rehabilitation. I still have moments where I go, I can't do that, or they want me to do that. I don't even know if I can. And knowing darn well I could. Like when I think back at some of the work that I've done professionally, I've done some of these things with my eyes closed, but never thought of it as being expert in it in a way that people actually want Kendra the person and not Kendra identified with a school district or an organization. They actually want my brain. And so I'm combating the imposter Kendra in there that says you can't do it. That's not, they really don't want you. So that's one thing I'm going to try to weed out. And that's going to be something that I'm going to work on for the rest of my life. What I want to grow in more is continuing to be okay with not having all of the answers. Be okay with some ambiguity, which I'm not okay with.
wait a minute. Could you? I think what?
I'm going to punch you in your head.
No, I just want to hear what did you say?
I'm not ambiguous with that.
You,
I mean in the work that I do. So not in our marriage, the work that I do.
but
Yep,
this
too
is
bad.
about us. This is not
Yeah.
about work.
Excuse me, but this manifests into our relationship. See, you're interrupting my flow, causing that little self-doubt coming back in there. It's your fault. It's Jason the whole time. Just thinking about
I guess I'm messing it up for later on.
basically it's done. Yep, do that. So thinking about the fact that the stuff that I'm leaning into, Jason, personally and professionally, is triggering, it is exhausting, and people are looking for answers. And if we had the answers to all the isms, we would not be in this situation. So being open that might not have the answer to that question. And I shouldn't answer every question that is asked about those things. So that frees me up. It frees me up from the stress of holding on to that level of control. So those are the two things. One, weed out the voice of self-doubt, and growing in accepting more ambiguity or not having the answer is the thing that I'm going to work out on.
No, I think that's superb. So what do you want to grow in terms of, what do you want to have? What do you want to be personally, right? In 3 to 6 months.
And 3 to 6 months.
And I know that's short term, but
Yeah, I want to be on the road to more financial freedom,
okay.
and so this is something I talked about too, and I think you and I in some cases conflict in this space, but I understand there's some sacrifice, but I also want to know that it's possible to have your cake and eat it too. Like when people are like, well, you can't have your cake and eat it too. And I'm like, why can't you? Right? Why can't I have the things that I want and enjoy it? Right? I know that there's some sacrifice with it. So I do want some financial freedom, but I also want some things that I just value too with that. So I think for me, it's just trying to figure out how to make that happen. And with my new job and this new venture with Kelly and with Lita Bubble, I think I can get it there. And at the same time, like have time for us, right? So have the time. I think I'm enjoying my newfound me. So that's good. I'm much happier in my space, but I can see me getting busier.
Well, I'm just gonna second that. I do like, the new you, if we're gonna go down that path. But well, I should not, and I do see you as a person who likes to make sure the calendar is full. And I would say that I've tried my best to just stay away from doing that to myself, right? Because I just like to have my time. Uh, that being said, I've got to make some adjustments. Like, we were when we were in Delaware last week, and you and Kelly were doing the breakout session. It
Mhm.
was on wellness,
Well-being, well-being,
well-being. I'm
well-being.
sorry, not wellness, but well-being, and incorporated in that is wellness. But as I went through it, and we won't go into a deep dive on it here, but I just felt myself, I was going through it as I was recording you, the both of you go through this process, but asking myself the very questions that you were asking
Mhm,
of the people. And I was like, you know what? My well-being is off. I'm a little off kilter here, and
mhm.
so I found it helpful for myself and wanted to really just participate after a certain point in time. And quite frankly, I think Kelly is here as well, is to say that yeah, that's something that I found value in, and I really wish I went, you know, more into it and
Well,
really.
you can too go more into it in the chapter in our book, Unwrapped 1995, at all your Amazon and booksellers across the nation. In addition, please look for a new well being workshop coming to your area real soon. Okay.
Well, I'd like to say hi to Kimberly, who just came on,
Well, but
and
that's
and
just
so,
true.
so
Keep going.
but I would like to put out to people as well. I mean, but folks who are here, we have Kelly, we got Cindy, Kimberly, and I guess folks will join in. And if you're watching this as a recording later on, by all means, post some comments and let's start a conversation on what you want to do for yourself.
Thank you, Kimberly.
But I would say for you, Kendra, specifically, I do see where you're going in this space, and I like it. I like, the fact that you have a greater freedom, and you're more refreshed in the morning, and those are things that I think help us in the long run. I mean, we've also had a great time as we've traveled and just enjoyed our time more as opposed to, oh, I got to go to work, I got to do a commute, and it's just a different time for us. And I think that's the purpose of this show, right? Is finding us, and I think you're finding yourself, and it's exciting.
Well, and to stay on the topic of the spring cleaning, there has to be a time where we also take stock and stop to decide what it is that we have been doing and what do we want to continue to do and stop doing. So for example, I think of this sort of like quarterly, and I think I was sharing this with a good friend who was seeking some advice about relationships. And we had this talk sometime last week. It's like, okay, so the first 4 months in of the school year, of the calendar year, where are we? So where are we as a couple? Where are we in our personal lives, seeking that joy of community? Where are we in our physical well-being? Where are we spiritually? So all those elements. and then where do we want to be? So I see this as a really good time to pause in the year, take stock, and begin to make some refinements or some new commitments. And then you check back in the next 4 months to see what you're hitting and what are you missing. Like, I think also is to give each other grace that we are human beings who are always a work in progress. Perfection is not the aim here, but improvement is. So, you know, you have January where you do New Year's resolutions. You have April where you have spring cleaning, right? What comes after that? What's the next month? You have August, right? August, you're getting ready for the fall, right? So at that point, taking stock, what do you want to, again, keep going? What momentum have you gained? And then when you get into, the winter months, it's really like, what are you going to hunker down and really, really commit to? Because you should be on a really good path of things that you've committed to, and some things that you like, Kelso, you didn't do that. That's okay, right? The fact that you recognize it and you learn and you grow from that. So making some of those commitments, I started doing the sticky notes. That seems to work for me. But again, we always, and Jason, that you don't do this by yourself. My recommendation is that to hold each other able to do the work, you do it with a community, whether your community is in your partnership with your spouse, like me and Jason, or with a best friend or a coach or a therapist, that you really have this conversation with someone who can check on you, because that gives you empowerment and inspiration. And again, that ableness to meet those goals or to trim that sugar. So, okay, Jason, so you're going to give up sugar, which means I can't leave a Kit Kat on the pillow.
I mean, the devil is real.
No Kit Kat. It was Easter Kit Kat.
No, that wasn't the Easter Kit Kat. It was plain. Okay. And if it was an Easter Kit Kat, you should have gave me some white chocolate Kit Kat.
All right. So, okay. So I'm going to hold you to reducing sugars. Does that also include, what the heck, Jason?
Well, I'm starting now.
What? Wait. No,
I got nuts and chocolate.
You are nuts.
Start eating some pistachios.
Oh my gosh.
Please do hold me to it.
Okay, I am. And when you're like, I am hankering, and you're like this in front of the closet, I'm like, sit down. I'm gonna have to tape you to a chair.
You know when I'm most disciplined? When I'm on my 10-day smoothie cleanse.
Okay. All right. Well, you go ahead. You do that. And then you're gonna have to hold me to when I'm like, Dad, these people want me to do this. I don't know if I can do that. 2 things you're gonna have to do for me, though. One is determine whether that is, the other Kendra saying you can't do it. And also really like, Kendra, do you want to do that? Is that going to take up a lot of your time? So there's 2 things you're going to have to ask me when you hear me say and share. Because I usually share that with you. It's like your time.
But isn't that it's going to take up most of your time? Or is this, here's what I found myself asking of myself. Is this something that's going to further me in the direction that I want to go? Right?
It can, but at what? Yes, and at what cost? So I'm thinking back to, the part in the book Unwrapped, where you can get it for $19.95 on all of these platforms. Where
help me.
Listen, you said what's going to further $19.95.
Well, let's put a QR code or something in there.
Yeah, next time we'll do that. So the thing that I wanted to share was that moment in time where I was like, I'm gonna get this PhD going, right? To further something. And what happened to our relationship during that time? It did suffer, right? It suffered in ways. Now we were, I think, fortunately enough, because of we knew each other, that foundation kept our relationship. It pushed us through it. it pushed us through it, right? And our love for each other pushed us through it to be like, oh, well, I have faith that we will come out of this. But imagine if it didn't, or if it can get into that mode, because you know how I can get.
Yeah.
I can get in there. So, you're going to have to check me too to make sure. And if you start seeing like, Kendra, like I felt really busy this week and tired, but that's because we've been traveling. So next week, I feel like I'll be in a better space where I can turn it off at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
And truly,
And,
like,
and,
let's
and
take our walks and all that stuff. Well, Kendra, get up. Let's do our walks, because we were doing that, but this past few times we haven't been doing it.
right. Well, and look, and you take a look at some of the comments,
I am.
Carlotta, I mean, people are starting to put some things in there. I mean, this gets to, the point of you start doing so much around work, right? That what are you doing for yourself, right?
Right.
What are we sacrificing? And I mean, you can take this newfound freedom that you have, or this new purpose and this new direction that you're going in, and turn it right into what you were before.
Right. Exactly. I was trying
Which
not
was
to
like
go
a
there.
busy head, right? I mean,
Yep.
Carlotta, and
Right.
Cindy, everybody's going back and forth on that. And we want to avoid that.
Right. So Jason, here's the difference too. You see me now. So
Mhm.
before, I was off at work and I would come home and tell you the story. You actually can see me in real time or hear me in real time talking and doing. So when the light is on, usually I'm talking to someone on Zoom. When the light is off, you can hear me pounding away,
Yeah.
right? And but Kendra, I mean, you might have to snap me out of it, because I can get into that mode. And sometimes I need that mode. It's like, give me 5 minutes or whatever, but you might have to pull this chair and slide, like we're going to take a walk for a moment. Right. So you get to see me in action. Not like you didn't see it before, because I was doing working nights on weekends, but you can kind of see what my day looks like. I really, really try very hard to keep work in this space and not taking into the living space. And I've been sticking to that, but I need to get up and out.
So to those who don't know, I mean, we work, for both of us work from home, and I'm on multiple things, but I move outside of the room. I mean, I do trade sometimes in the room, in the same office, with Kendra, and sometimes I leave that space, but I leave and I intentionally just get up. I just put everything down and I just drop it and I go. And I set times, to engage with emails at certain times of the day, and make phone calls. But what I do see you doing, Kendra, frankly, is, you got call after call after call. And in between the calls, you're going to make a phone call, or you got something, you put things down on your to-do list and you're going and you're just making the schedule full. And I get it, right? I get it. But one of the things that I read in my devotional just yesterday or so was, don't fill your day with tasks. Stop doing that. And don't get me wrong. I understand there are things like, look, we need to get some new home insurance.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Right.
More, like,
And that is on my mind. But I know at the same time, it's like, what, I don't know what it is. I wish I could describe it to people, but there are certain moments where something, a spirit, something says, all right, now make that phone call. Right. Now go do this. Now go do that. Right. But not all at one time. Like, okay, I did this now and I did this. And don't get me wrong, I have a to-do list. But when that to-do list gets to take over my day, now we got a problem. So one of the things that I like to try to do, is even cook during the day. So you've probably seen me doing some, making some meals during the day where I'm actually making something, from one of our HelloFresh recipes during the day. Because that does bring me a different level of joy. It gives me a different level of peace. and it just allows me to break away from trading, looking at, screens with numbers, and to your point, like you made earlier, maybe go out for a walk.
Mhm. That's what I like to do. I like to go out for a walk or listen to whatever. So I did today. It was near the end of the day. I used it, but I was on a call, but it was nice. Like to just get out into the nice weather. So okay, so Jason, go ahead.
Go ahead. I did want to say a few things because I do want to acknowledge some comments that are being made, and because Kimberly, Cindy,
Yep.
Carlotta, they're putting some comments out there. I do want to say HelloFresh was mentioned, and we have not been paid by HelloFresh to do anything. By the way, I should say that.
It's about time, HelloFresh, if you see
But
this.
they should.
They should.
Anyway, that's as wide as you see my eyes get, everybody. But but no, Akin, who was on one of our shows, did the HelloFresh, and he is loving it. He's not on tonight. I don't think he's on tonight. If you are, Akin, put a comment out there. But he loved it, and we do have. If any of you do not have HelloFresh or would like a free one, where they send you free meals, send us a note and we'll kick that right over to you so that you could use it. The meals are delicious. So with that said, I do. There are a couple of questions. Kendra, do you see the comments?
Yeah, I see them. So and this is definitely from some peers of mine who, right, our value has been all around our work, right? This is a society where your work is your value, right? How you work, how much time you spend in work really helps to build our ego. And that is how we prioritize our value as people. And so deconstructing that is a process for me. And yes, I am a calendar person. I am definitely a to-do list person. I mean, if y'all looked on my desk, you will see the sticky notes of what I crossed out and what I had to do. Now I'm into the red ones, the pink ones, and I now have some green ones. The yellow ones are so long that I taped them together onto the desk so they don't move or come apart. And I've been crossing them off as I get to do them. I actually write the word done next to it with a little exclamation mark. So I've always been a calendar or to-do list kind of person. It keeps me from not forgetting things. So it is my it's my work habit. But what I don't want it to do is be my life habit.
All right. So I got a question for you though.
Yeah.
Am I ever on that to-do list?
No, this is strictly work. Oh, Lord have mercy, Jesus.
So no, but
you too can buy my book for $19.95.
That wasn't meant to be like,
Yeah, but you did the eyebrows, which makes it meant to be. Am I on the to-do list?
Well, look, spouses want to get done too. I mean, it's just
okay.
It is what it is.
This is not that type of show.
But
even Google was like, look, what?
In all seriousness,
oh God,
you should be saying to yourself, look, at 11:30, and I'm not talking about this sexually, folks. At 11:30, I'm dragging Jason out to the store. We're going for a walk, or we're going to have us time. And I challenge anyone. I challenge anyone. When you look at your to-do list, is there something on that to-do list for your spouse?
So you want me to start making a to-do list for you, Jason? I have so much I can.
No, I'm not talking about that.
Yes. Nope. Nope. I will absolutely.
Focus is all wrong.
I can do. Let me see what color.
We are going off the rails, folks. We're a little late on off the rail session.
I think I have this color for you.
Right.
I can use this color right here for Jason's to-do list. You heard it, everyone. It's recorded. It's in the internets forever because it's more than one.
That's
Jason,
right. I want my own Post-it note.
Yeah, look, you got it right here. To do, Jason, and then I'll be like garage base.
I got one too because mine says, "What the f am I doing?"
What, you post it?
Well, you know, the list is
Oh,
to-do list says that, but it's like a post-it. But anyway,
yeah, mine says shit has to be done. And
Yeah.
it says
well,
more
okay.
S.
Look, please refrain from using the profanity. You know,
You just finished saying that you wanted
I
to
said
be on
the
the
F.
to-do list.
I said the F.
Listen, it's way
So-
past time.
It is past time. Listen, so we covered some ground, and you know, we are you know, just like everybody else, trying to get better at our own lives. And you know, of course, I like to try to make it a little fun by going off the rails a little bit. But again, in the spirit of what this is about, right? In finding us, and that is not just Kendra and I, right? Finding us, but it's for whoever watches this show, right? So, you know, Kelly, Cindy, Carlotta, Kimberly, you know, how are we all finding ourselves is what I just want to say. And so,
You want to
know,
go? You want to go find some ice cream?
you see, the devil is real. I said, I'm trying to get that sugar out.
That's
And look at
milk.
what she says.
You want to go get
This
some
is for the
ice?
record. This is, I
This
got to
is
make
part
sure I
of-
download this recording.
It's the do list. It's to have some fun. You want some ice cream?
I do want ice cream. So
You are not getting any. No, you're gonna have.
when does my sugar thing stop?
No, you said you're gonna reduce it forever. There's no stop stuff. So there we go. And you can have water and nuts. That's all you can have.
Okay.
hmm That's cool. All right, let's watch some basketball.
All right, everybody. Listen, thank y'all so much for joining us.
I'm gonna watch basketball.
I'll be stuck with eating pistachio nuts.
Well, have fun.
But oh,
Dad,
so
you still talking?
real quick,
That
everybody
sugar got
stay
you.
tuned because I'm going to start posting pictures of some of my HelloFresh meals. I'd like to see what other people are making as well. So with that
Okay.
said,
Good night, everybody.
we're going to say goodnight.
Stay tuned and get your copy of Unwrapped 1995 on all bookseller platforms.
Bye, everyone.
See